Thank you. Thank you. How many fans of FC Barcelona have you here? Okay, good. Good. There is room for improvement, but we'll try to make that happen. Okay, innovating at FC Barcelona, right? What a weird scenario, an innovation department in a sports club, right? What I want to do today first is sharing a little bit of what's FC Barcelona and what is this so well-known claim, more than a club. Then I want to share with you a little bit of challenges that we face from an innovation standpoint, not only at FC Barcelona, but I would say across the whole sports industry. And then finally, I'm going to end the whole presentation explaining you what we do at FC Barcelona with Barça Innovation Hub and how we tackle all these challenges, right? Let me start first with a short video that kind of defines this more than a club claim.
You think you know me, don't you? I'm much more than that. You think I'm nothing more than my victories on the field. But it's more than just what happens out there. On the grass, on the pitch, on the court, in the biggest stadium in Europe, and even in places where grass never grows. Everywhere, without losing my love for my roots. You think I'm nothing more than my trophies. But what is a trophy? A girl's first soccer match? A boy with a baccalaureate certificate? A discovery? I know I'm not simple. There's no place for simplicity here. The score? That's just numbers for me. What matters is the way we reach our goals. The way others reach their goals. It's much more than just winning or losing. It's going all out to defend a unique style. On and off the pitch. I know I have a responsibility. That's what being powerful means. I can change a person's life. That's beautiful, that's challenging, but it's true. I can share my knowledge with those who can need it. I can make you look where nobody else is looking. I can be where others can't be. I can, so I have to. This is why I persevere to become better. Excellent. This is why I'm not just one person. I'm hundreds, thousands, millions. This is why we're different. This is why Barça is more than a club.
So more than a club, right? If I have to summarize what does more than a club means is that we are more focused on how we do things than what we do things, right? And innovation and the way we frame innovation at the club is basically embedded in this more than a club idea. But let's start with the challenges that from a sports club perspective we face by delivering innovation, right? The first idea, our core business is so unpredictable, right? So we have 22 human beings with a ball, with certain rules, trying to structure a collective behavior in a way that they can score a goal, right? But how many goals we got in one match? 2, 3, 4, 5 at max? So it's super hard to actually control what's happening on the pitch, right? And then what happened across the whole organization is that we, as a club, act under this mantra that the most important thing is the next match, right? So it's a super short mindset across the whole club, not only from sports perspective, but also on the corporate level as well. So everyone is just like, the whole organization is designed for the next match. And it has to be this way under sports practice, but the challenge from an innovation standpoint is how we can deal with this environment and look 10 years from now and actually create impact today in order to the whole club think on 10 years from now. First idea, unpredictability and short-term focus organization. Second idea, this is a slide that I stolen from the medical department, right? So we deal with celebrities, and the whole staff that works with our celebrities, with our players, needs to have their confidence, right? So that means no failure. That means any diagnosis that we do with any injury, I mean, if you do a mistake there, you are done, right? So how you manage that? This zero-risk environment in order to manage, again, innovation projects that on you have to fail in order to learn, right? So second idea, we cannot fail on the first team. Third idea, brand, right? So we have a powerful brand. We got a lot of opportunities to develop innovation, how you select projects. But not only that, linked to the zero risk environment, we always have these debates internally in the club everyone wants to be related to the brand. And how you, again, manage with the media exposure that you get, this failure with the brand. Probably that happens with many organizations. But in a way, we also, third parts of our revenue is coming from brand association with sponsorship deals. How you manage your relationship with startups, understanding that a lot of companies are paying a lot of money to being associated with our brand, right? Not only that, if we compare ourselves to any top brands in the world, Google, Apple, we are at the same level of awareness. But when you look at revenues, we are 100 and 200 times smaller, right? So the challenge for the club in the next years is how we can transform a sports club into a global entertainment company to deliver products and services to our fans. We've been focusing on a B2B kind of business model. Of course, we have match ticket, and we have some licensing deals, and we have also some merchandising. But from a club perspective, we need to think ourselves as a global entertainment company. Let's build content for our fans that is premium. Of course, we cannot manage our soccer matches, are already sold to La Liga. But let's try to build that, right? So in that sense, brand strength and the challenge with the revenues that we are generating today. And the third one, and the last one, sorry, the fourth one, this is what we call our General Assembly. It happens once every year, and the 4,000 oldest members of the club, you know that we are a club that is owned by 145,000 owners who vote our president every 6 years. So governance, right? This morning we mentioned the tension in between efficiency and values, right? And that happens in our club every day. So we compete with clubs that are fully owned by ownership group, that they can invest in other companies, make top-down decisions on a fast way. We have every year one General Assembly that have to approve all the financial reports, have to take the most important decision in terms of projects that we're going to develop together with partners, and so on and so forth. So governance, right? So how, from a governance perspective, how you can adapt and how you can make fast decisions with this system of governance. And now, Barça Innovation Hub. First idea, Barça Innovation Hub is based on that we are an innovation and knowledge department. And why we merged that is because we understood that the club had a super valuable intangible asset, which is our expertise, our know-how, that was not well managed, that can serve to many different things. To deliver innovation, to create impact internally, but also to create certain business models that will help out in order to fund all these innovation strategies, right? But why we do things? So what's our purpose, right? And we put it this way: through our knowledge, we empower progress, right? So this idea of opening up what we know and work with many different types of stakeholders, from startups, research centers, universities, corporate partners, even investors, in order to help them out to create value internally to the club, but also to the whole sports community and even beyond, right? From a B2B perspective, but also from a B2C perspective. My dream job is, let's have one product that has been designed by internal people, let's say nutritionists, with a special functional recommendation, and then let's bring that to the whole society, right? So Barca's know-how embedded in a product that is able to create impact, positive impact to the whole society. So through our knowledge, empowering progress. So what we do? We do three main things. The first one is basically R&D research, with an outcome is basically publishing papers in scientific journals, and that gives a lot of authenticity and credibility in the sports industry, where sometimes innovation tends to be related to more marketing strategies. So let's try to create a robust authenticity of what we do in terms of knowledge development. we focus a lot on sports science, but we are also moving into the corporate world with some examples that I'm going to share later on. The second big pillar that we have is purely innovation, and here we work with startups and corporates to co-develop products and services. Again, the main idea here is that the market sometimes develops products that are not really linked to the necessities, to the needs that the sports clubs have, right? And that's probably because, for privacy issues, we've been pretty closed. And there is this idea from the 90s that, if you develop internal R&D, you will have a competitive advantage that will help you win the next match. That's not the case. We changed that. We completely changed the mindset of the whole club. Let's open ourselves. And the best way to keep moving forward is to share everything that we do. So we work, again, with startups that they already have a product that is in the market, but we understand that basically creating co-creation process with the startups and internal teams will bring value to the startup and to the whole team in terms of talent development and in terms also to developing solutions that will be adapted to the real needs of the club. We also work with corporations in order to align ourselves on the innovation strategies so that we can leverage all our activities, all our assets, and help them out together to build these brands together on innovation positioning. And finally, we have a knowledge sharing pillar that includes some educational programs, some conferences that we organize as well, and an e-learning platform that right now accounts for more than 70% of the revenues of the whole structure, right? A little bit on the strategy. So we wanted to create impact internally. So we needed to have people that has experiences in all these departments of the club and come to join Barça Innovation Hub and be the ones that are actually selecting which projects we're going to be developing, but not only selecting which projects, also who from all these FC Barcelona departments are going to be participating in these projects, right? One of the beauties of sports is that it's super transversal. So you can think of health or infrastructure development, completely different worlds. But right now we have a testing lab, we have a living lab where we can test and co-develop and develop research on all these areas, right? First one, healthcare and wellness, everything related to nutrition, to physiotherapies, lifestyle monitoring, so on and so forth. Sports performance, working basically with 25 physical trainers that we have in our club. Just a reminder, we have 2,000 athletes in the whole club, 5 professional sports and 9 amateur sports. So it's a big, big, big organization in terms of athletes. Sports analytics, basically working on how we can develop, better tactical analysis. At the end of the day, is trying to implement a monitoring system that will help understand better human behaviors in certain roles, right? And here we did a lot of work on applying precisely artificial intelligence for that. Team sports methodology, which is basically working with our coaches, and that means basically pedagogy. So how we can help our coaches train better our athletes, and how technology can play a role in that. Fan engagement, broad area, working basically with marketing and digital department in order to collect better data from our fans, deliver better experiences based on that data, and then also build the value proposition of our own channels. And then smart facilities, basically, just so you know, we are in the process of fully renovating our stadium, but not only the stadium, the whole campus of Camp Nou. It's going to be an open campus, open 24 hours, with a new relationship with the club, with the whole neighborhood of Les Corts, the whole city. So this idea of we're going to have a perfect, again, living lab for smart city projects, right? And finally, working with our foundation on how innovation can help them out in terms of their projects on social impact. Our goals. First one, again, creating an impact internally will help us to actually deliver, a long-term strategy. So that's why we call it corporate excellence, sport excellence. But at the end of the day, is having our people always challenging themselves how they can improve what they do, and how we can embed also newest solutions, new technologies that will help deliver better services to our 2 final users, our athletes and our fans. The second one is, again, coming back to the more than a club concept. Creating, so the brand impact that we want to build from Barça Innovation Hub is basically creating value externally. So creating value to the whole sports community. And the third one, and this is a key important aspect, I guess, we mentioned about the restriction on the sports industry and the short-term super focused organization. When we designed the whole strategy, we decided to be a self-sustainable unit. That means that we are able, by monetizing this technical perception of the brand, by monetizing our know-how, we're going to be refinancing everything that we do. So in that sense, we have a certain autonomy across the whole club to reinvest, to allocate resources into the projects that sometimes might be from a day-to-day operation standpoint kind of hard. I mean, there is another big mantra in the sports industry, which is all the money should be into the pitch. And you have to fight with that, right? So if you have certain autonomy, then you are able to decide what does make sense doing that precise investment that probably this president is going to be done in 2 years will not benefit from that. So that's kind of the whole strategy on having a self-sustainable knowledge innovation unit. Let me go with several success cases so you can touch a little bit more on specific projects that we are already on the process of developing or that we already finished. First one, we're working with research. Actually, in Barcelona, I don't know if you are aware of, but we have one of the most powerful computer centers in Europe and the world, Barcelona Supercomputing Center, that actually just won a new grant to renew it with 200 million from European Commission. So we are building with them a predictive model of flows into the stadium from our fans, when they get into the stadium, and also what they do while they are into the stadium. And that has a lot of impact in terms of emergency issues, commercial flows, or how you can locate specific activation stands for whatever commercial action, efficiency operation, right? So a lot to do in that sense on understanding how we can predict the flows of our fans in our facilities. Second project, this is a project that I'm really proud of it because that was the first project of Barça Innovation Hub. It was even before we officially launched. By the way, we launched this project 3 years ago, 2 years and a half ago, March 2017. But prior to that, we were already working internally on just start to having several projects that will help get some traction internally. So that was a project that we started 4 years ago with the idea of let's help our physical trainers to just don't have a bunch of solutions to monitor every different biomarker or every different mechanical load, so how much acceleration, how our plays run, in one single device, right? So we built this product. Basically, what tracks is, again, mechanical load. So how much of accelerations, decelerations our players do when they play and when they train. But we work with this solution in order to transform this initial tracking device in a hub of sensors that they can integrate any sort of biometrical data, like, for example, muscle activation. So in a way that all our physical trainers were working on one single software, one single solution. Not only that, so with that startup, we work from a product design standpoint 1 year in actually with our athletes how we can improve not only the bra but the whole device itself, right? So it was a product design co-creation process with this startup, and then even more at the end of the third year, working on the KPIs that we're going to build together, the startup and our physical trainers. This startup right now is actually commercializing a report, a KPI report on physical performance that has been built by FC Barcelona professionals. And we are proud of that, and we want to keep helping this startup to share what we develop because we understand that it's going to be the best way to actually learn more from other potential insights from other clubs and also challenge our internal staff to keep developing new KPIs, right? A third project being done with Gatorade. We work with them on actually developing this personalized hydration solution. Basically, what we do is just do a physical test. We call it FatMax to understand better what's the physiological profile when our players just do exercise, right? So in a way, we're able to personalize the type of drink, energy drink that they are taking while they train or while they play. But not only that, also having a digital smart card that are able to assess how much of that drink they should be taking during both the training and the competition. And that has been tested and co-developed in our sports city with the Gatorade Sports Science Institute. Just last slides. We organize these conferences where we share everything that we do. We invite also third parties, not only from the sports industry. We are truly believers that we need to bring expertises from other sectors into the sports industry. Because of the first idea of uncertainty, I can say that sports tends to be 10 years behind other sectors. So let's bring more people into sports. And we try to invite a lot of people in that conference as well, so the whole sports community can start, opening their mindsets and just integrating other expertises. This is the e-learning platform that we built. Already more than 10,000 students having access to practical skill sets from our top professionals, but also from professionals that come to our club to train our staff, right? And that's, again, that has been a business that's been running for the last 2.5 years and account for 70% of all the resources that we allocate then in innovation projects and research projects. And finally, we also have a program to develop master with universities in a way that we can bring talent with know-how that they already know how FC Barcelona treat that specific topics from sports science and sports management topics. That was for me, so thank you very much.